the class, so we can.
This subject, you know, you will go on coming back to it. You cannot forget. Don't worry. As we go on, we are going to be coming back to all this and more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's right.
Thank you.
Okay, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Yes, what is he saying, Bhagavan? We were in Deho Asmin is done. Okay.
14.
Now we are in 2.14. Is that right? This is a very, very beautiful shloka. More and more of the same, but more and more clarity as we go along. So let's chant this once. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhada agama paino nityas tam titikshasva bharata. Okay?
Sneha.
Yes.
Sneha chanting.
Okay. Matra sparshastu kaunteya शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः आगमापायिनो नित्याः तां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत.
मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदा आगमापायिनो नित्यः तां तितिक्षस्व भारत.
Yes. Who else? Kamala?
मातृस्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्णसुखदुःखदाः आगमापायिनो नित्याः तां तितिक्षस्व भारत.
Okay. Anyone else wants to take a shot at chanting this? Pratibha?
Yes, ma'am. मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः आगमापायिनो नित्याः स्थितिक्षस्व भारत.
Yes. Anyone else?
Shall I?
Yes, please.
मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदा आगमापायिनो नित्यां तितिक्षस्व भारत.
Very nice. Very beautiful.
Please keep your videos on, because then only we will remember who is who. I am still in the name and form stage, okay?
All right. Okay. So anyone else want to chant, or so what is Krishna telling Arjuna in this shloka? First, O son of Kunti, Kaunteya, O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, O scion of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. So after telling that you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the intellect, you are something beyond, you are the one who is above and beyond all this. And then he's saying, Krishna tells Arjuna, okay, now your body changes, blah, blah, blah. And then in this, he's giving one more insight, one more psychological input. But before that, I would like people to share their understanding of this. Whatever, whatever contemplation you have done on this, please share.
This winter, summer, and the cold heat is with the body. The happiness and sadness and distress and all this is with the mind. And he wants to tell, anyways, this is not permanent. This will come to pass.
Yes, this will come to pass.
When you know that this is going to pass away, why give so much importance and brood and all?
Yes.
So learn to tolerate and get on with it. Anyway, it is going to change.
Yeah, correct. Anyone else?
Yeah. Krishna tells Arjuna, "O Kaunteya," Kaunteya is son of Kunti, who's from Kshatriya dynasty. So,
Correct.
descendant of Bharata. Bharata is the son of Shakuntala and King Dushyant. So he basically is trying to tell that you are coming from a great, heritage or dynasty, from Kshatriya dynasty or from Shakuntala, King Dushyant.
Correct.
A great heritage brings a lot of responsibilities in the matter of proper discharge of duties.
Very
So
good.
just by using these two words, Bharata and Kaunteya, he's also showing that you're coming from a great dynasty which has got great responsibilities along with you.
Correct.
So you don't have any other option than to just fight being born in such a great dynasty. So happiness and distress are like just a appearance and disappearance of the seasons, summer and winter.
Correct.
So one should never deviate from from his religious principle, which is to fight as a Kshatriya.
Correct.
So all the critical situations that come in our life are because of our sense perceptions.
Correct.
Some things that gives happiness to me may give a distress to another person.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So Krishna asks Arjuna to tolerate as these will pass away with time. So happiness and distress will come and go. Hence, you need to tolerate this and be stable. So being stable, I think, is an important takeaway from this
Very
particular
well.
shloka.
Very well said,
The
Padma.
same heat, sometimes it gives you joy. The same heat, sometimes it gives you unhappiness.
Correct.
Same cold, sometimes it says, wow, it's so nice. Sometimes it becomes too much, you hate it.
Yes.
So it is so impermanent.
Yes.
For you yourself, it changes, not for even the others.
Correct.
Forget about it. Okay, bring it to yourself and see
Yeah.
how it changes for
Perfect.
you yourself. So
Correct.
under that condition, don't give too much importance.
Give too much importance to that which is changing. Excellent. Very well said, Nirmala ji. Kamala, you want to say something?
Same, everything is covered now. So it is only about the prayers he's talking about, right? Prayer.
Yes. You're right. You're right. Anything else, Neha? Or okay. Okay. So here there are two very critical words that
Oh,
we.
sorry.
Yeah, tell me.
Can- Oh,
Yes,
sorry.
yes,
Just
I'm
my
so sorry. Yes.
perception was.
Yes, of course.
Um,
Please, carry on.
I think this is. I think the way I looked at this was about perceptions of happiness and sadness, right? I think he relates to the cold and the heat. So, like a cold water is good in summer, but the same cold water will give you distress in winter.
Correct.
So, as a human, or as being in this body, or the soul being in this body, if we allow ourselves to keep feeling all these feelings, right? We become like a pendulum, left and right. We need to be in the middle, pretty much, right? So a person who can discriminate between these things should practice to tolerate these feelings, so we can be more, we don't know how to be too happy or too distressed. So this way we can stay grounded in them.
Excellent.
Is how I kind of interpret it.
Yes, yes, perfect. Shweta, very nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anu, you want to share something?
I agree with everyone, and it's the same, like, having stability in our mind and thinking, and with the changes, be stable and not get affected with the external influences, what's happening around us. It's more or less same, yeah.
Equilibrium. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So here two words are being used, matra and sparsha. Matra, gross meaning is sense organs. The subtle meaning is the powers of the sense organs. See, the sense organs are the gateways to joy and sorrow. They are the gateways to the world. They are the gateways through which we experience, we feel, we touch, taste, smell, and their propensity of the sense organs is to run towards objects. Sparsha. Sparsha means not just touch, the contact. Matra is a sense organ. Sparsha is the contact. So the sense organs are constantly in contact with the external world. which is from where emanates all the problems, right? So matra, sparsha, they are the ones which are always happening. Ma is a Sanskrit word which means measure. So matra, tanmatras, actually tanmatra, the powers of the sense organs are called the tanmatras. They are the instruments through which we measure the world, tanmatras. Okay, so he says, my dear Kaunteya, like Padmaja says, son of Kunti. So he's reminding Arjuna all along, yes, come on, you should be able to understand this. It's a simple thing. The sense organs always are, running after objects, and they're subject to, and they leave an impression on you. Shita, sukha, dukkha, everything is sensed by the experience by yours because of your sense perceptions. Then what is the nature of them? Agana, agama paino, they come and go, man. You know that very well. You have seen it in your life. How what was unpleasant to me yesterday is pleasant for me today. What I like today, I don't like tomorrow. It's my own personal experience. I just need to think. 2 years ago, I didn't like something. Today, I love it. I mean, you don't even trust your own mind. How can you base your judgments on things that happen in the world and with other people? We are all the same. We all operate from the same kind of instruments, which is the mind and the sense organs, which are not permanent. And so do not anchor yourself in these impermanent changing entities, is what Krishna is saying. Then he said, oh, I see. What do I do? Okay, the world is changing. Everything is changing. I am changing. My mind, my body, everything is changing. So how do I deal with this? So Krishna, very, very sweet. He's saying, Titiksha, you bear with it. There is no other choice, You just go along with it. There is no choice. You have to, Titiksha is one of the basic qualifications for a seeker. When we come to Jnana Marga, the teacher assumes that we are all ready for this Jnana. Why the Jnana doesn't go down so well is because we are not prepared. The ground is not prepared. So in the very first, Shankaracharya, who has written the Bhashya for this Bhagavad Gita, was a monk as a sannyasi. He had undergone a strict regimen of preparing the ground, his body and mind, to receive this jnana, which is why at the young age of 16, he was already there, But whereas we have to ragad, we have to go on listening to all this. And in parallelly, we need to jnana on one side, and then we have to prepare our body and mind. So the fourfold sadhana chatushtaya, the fourfold qualifications are specified as a primary, middle school, primary level for a seeker to be ready with the sadhana chatushtaya. What are the 4 sadhana chatushtayas? Viveka, discrimination between good and bad, between shreyas and preyas. Vairagya, Vairagya is to drop that which is not good for your growth. Vairagya. And then Shama, Dama, Adi, Shat, Sampatti. The 6, it is very clever. The third one has got 6 qualifications. Actually, it is sadhana 6 plus 3. 9 qualifications are needed. Sama, Dama, Titiksha, Uparati, Shraddha, Samadhana. All these qualities one has to develop. So here, Krishna is talking of Titiksha. Titiksha is forbearance. How do we forbear with the world around us, with the changing world around us? How do we do it? Complaining? Or are we trying to desperately change a situation that we don't like? Which we do. Very automatically we do such things. We try to change a situation that we don't like, isn't it? We try to put it right, which is fine. At a certain level, we have to do it. Eckhart Tolle has that beautiful formula, no? He says, if you can change the things around you, do it. If you can remove yourself from a situation which you don't like, do it. If number 1 and 2 don't work, third option is accept it. That's the only thing you can do, right? So at a material level, we need to change things, definitely, because there are so many elements. We have our dharma. If you have to change your child, you have to give your child or people around you some, corrective measures have to be taken. That is commonsensical things. But apart from that, if you are not able to change the situation, if you are not able to change your attitude or something, you just have to forbear, is what Krishna is telling Arjuna, right? Just forbear. And here Shankaracharya gives a very beautiful insight. He said, forbearance is not just like, you're sulking and he said, okay, do what you want now. I don't care. No, that's not the kind of forbearance. Shankaracharya says, forbearance, titiksha, is chinta vilapa rahitam, without anxiety, without being anxious of what next. Okay, I'll just, I'll just be quiet for this next 2 hours. Maybe something else will, good will happen. No, without expectation of what the future will bring, without having expectation of what my future should be like. Chinta, anxiety, comes from imagined future which might not come true. That is my anxiety all the time. What will happen tomorrow? So chinta vilapa, without crying about it, without regretting it, without trying to hopelessly change the situation somehow to make it right. We do that all the time. At a personal level, at a collective level, we try to change things. But this stage is after all the basic work is done, after there is no other choice than we just forbear, is what Shankaracharya is, or what Krishna is telling Arjuna. Titikshasva Bharata. Okay, now you are here, you're in the middle of a battlefield, you cannot go back. You as a warrior, you're supposed to pick up your bow and do the right thing. Forbear. Okay, because for so and so and so reasons, the body is impermanent, the mind is impermanent, it's going to acquire another body, you are not the body, all that is fine. But right now, what do I need to do? I need to forbear. That is what all of us, we need to, this is the takeaway from this particular shloka. Anatma, it's an endless flow of things which come and go, and it's inevitable, and it's an inevitable process, and we are helpless in that matter. It is impossible that we can change it. We are helplessly so. Here a very cute anecdote is being, I know a very cute anecdote which I want to share. There was this jnani. There was this jnani who used to say very less. And because he wouldn't speak, people would assume all kinds of things about him in a little village. So unless, we are used to people who claim lots of things about themselves, and we base our opinions on the things they do and they say, right? So this jnani used to be very quiet all by himself, and, in a small village. And there was this girl who fell in love with, she had a lover, and she becomes pregnant. And then she's scared that her parents are going to thrash her and throw her out of the house. And so she tells her, when she tells her parents, this man did it. This old man, this jnani, he is responsible for my, for this state of mind. And so the villagers, they go and thrash the jnani. He said, what? This is a young girl, innocent girl, you're doing this to her, and blah, blah, blah. And they kind of abuse him left, right, center. And he said, now you marry this girl, you have brought her to this day, you have to take care of her. Jnani says, okay, fine. And so the girl is married off to this jnani. He does not say a thing in his defense. He does not try to defend himself or accuse the other persons of being foolish or nothing, because he knows this whole gang of people, foolish people, they are not going to listen to me now. When I'm going to try to change these their opinions, they are not going to listen to me. All right, you want me to take care of the girl? Okay, please come. Quietly, he marries the girl. And then the girl herself, as she lives with the jnani and sees his behavior day in and day out, she feels ashamed. She feels ashamed of her own deceit, taking this old man for granted, treating him to this abuse by the villagers. And so she tells her parents and the villagers, no, this is not the person. I'm very sorry. I made a huge mistake. He didn't do anything to me. I was scared to tell, the real truth. So I took this person's name, and she tells the other person's name is this boy. I want to marry this boy. And then again, the villagers come rushing to him and say, oh, sorry, boss. I'm so sorry. Please forgive us. We shouldn't have done this. We should have. Again, the Jnani is quiet. Okay, you don't want this girl to be here? Okay, take her back. So that man was completely undisturbed when he was accused, then completely undisturbed when he was, eulogized, or, when people apologized to him. So that is the status of a Jnani. While we cannot aspire for that status as of now, what we can do is just tolerate whatever comes. See, this toleration, it's not just about the world, it's about me also. See, me as a body-mind entity, I am also subject to change. No, my mind also goes here, there, everywhere, all the time. Let me not also be so harsh upon myself also. At a higher level, let me tolerate, the way my mind vacillates from here and there. Let me be kind to myself also, because I am also made of the same stuff. So when that comes, a lot of fear, guilt, everything goes away. Today I'm feeling like this. Tomorrow I will change. I'm bound to change. All my opinions that I hold on to so strongly, they will also change, isn't it? So let me not be so, cruel or this thing about myself also. Let me be kind to myself. Let me allow those little things. That's fine, perfectly all right. As long, see, in spite of all this, in spite of knowing that things change, people change, situations change, my mind changes, yet we manage to have such deep impressions. How? How do we manage to have such deep impressions within us? That is the crux of the problem here. Can anyone say how we manage? We concluded that the subtle body moves and our impressions will move. How have we managed to have these impressions, Baba? After all this, in this impermanent world, we have managed to have these impressions. How? Why?
Because we are not the Jnanis who will be at equilibrium at all times.
No, that is correct. We are not at equilibrium.
It's going to take us many janmas to reach there.
Yeah, correct. That is fine. What I'm saying is, see, everything is changing. My mind is changing. The world around me is changing. Yet, I managed to carry something from this changing world to another life. How? Why?
Is that because of the vasanas?
Yeah, vasanas. How in this changing world, how are we doing these vasanas? How are we getting attached? Correct, the vasanas. How are these deep-rooted, scars? We are giving those scars on our psyche. You know why? Because I identify myself with that vasana. I think I like mango. I like summer season. I don't like cold. I'm associating the unchanging with the changing. See, I'm the unchanging eternal in consciousness, Sat Chit Ananda, with nothing affects me. But I associate that unchanging I with the changing mind, body, etc., etc. The association is what is creating these impressions, and which is carried on from life to life. So what Arjuna is telling, what Krishna is telling Arjuna here is, you do not allow these impressions which are this changing world to leave an impression on you, is what is being told. Let it not scar me, and let me not allow my senses to run behind the same things again and again and again. That is what is creating a vasana. I like some restaurant, I go there repeatedly. It's a vasana I'm creating, and the deep rooted, that scar is being, branded on in my psyche. That is how I carry the vasana. And what does a Gnani do? He sees that vasana. It is not that the Gnani will not have a vasana, which is very, very, very wrong perception. A Gnani need not be a perfect person. For example, Nisargadatta Maharaj was a great Gnani. He was from a very, very, very humble family. He lived in the most pathetic slum of Bombay. Very recently he passed away, in the 80s or 90s he passed away. Nisargadatta Maharaj. Wonderful soul. He was such a simpleton. He was just a shopkeeper. He was not even from a Kshatriya clan or a Brahmana clan. No, he was a very, very humble shopkeeper. And his guru told him, look, you don't, in Marathi, none of the education that we literates have access to the Bhagavad Gita. We have a guru who explains all this. His guru just told him, look, you are not your mind. You just concentrate on the feeling of I am. That's all. You close your eyes and go deep within you and say that I am. This I am feeling that you have, it doesn't change. Everything else changes. Okay? That's just what the Nisargadatta did. He said, my guru told me, close my eyes and concentrate on I am. I did it. I did that for 3 years. And then I was enlightened. I was liberated. Enlightenment is fine. Enlightenment is some jnana which has come into you. Liberation is dropping all the vasanas. He said, my vasanas just dropped. I mean, I was liberated, not vasanas. I was liberated from the cycle of birth and death. That is what liberation means. So what I wanted to say is this Nisargadatta, he had a lot of vasanas. He used to eat meat because that was his, he grew up eating meat. Then he used to smoke bidis. Not that he stopped smoking bidis after he became enlightened. The vasana was very much there. But he knows that I am not the person. Me as the consciousness, I have got nothing to do with what this body is doing, what this mind is doing. That dissociation is complete for a Gnani. Whereas I associate myself with the things that I do and I feel guilty and I feel happy, I feel elated, I feel proud, I feel arrogant, I feel ignored, I feel loud. All that is because I associate these things with myself, which I'm not that. That is the central teaching of the Gita of this. That is the Jnana. Why these vasanas are created, why I carry these impressions is I am associating the unchanging with the changing. That is the problem. So what Krishna tells Arjuna is be a sakshi, be a witness to all the changing entities around you, including your own body, mind. See, witnessing the changes around me is fine, but to witness the change in myself, that is the critical thing. No. Do I do that? No. That's very difficult. To witness myself as an object is very difficult because I take myself to be the subject. I am the subject, not as the body and the mind, but as the ultimate. As Brahman, I am the subject. Everything that's happening is an object. Everything that I can see is an object. I can see my mind working. So the mind is an object. I can see my body changing. So the body is an object. I can see my understanding changing over time. So I can see my intellect. That is an object. I am not the intellect. I am the one who sees my intellect. I am not the body. I am the one who sees the body. I am not the mind. I am the one who is able to see the mind. So this is the central teaching which Krishna is giving in this specific shloka. So he says, with this, until you get this understanding, just forbear, Titikshasva Bharata. You don't understand this, but wait, Baba, don't worry. You are not this. It will just pass. This too shall pass. Ultimately, for our level of understanding, just understand this too shall pass. That's all. So don't give too much importance to that which is coming and going. I have before we close, I have a very beautiful 1 minute example of, there was a great writer called Devudu, Kannada writer called Devudu. And he was a jnani and a liberated soul. Okay. His jnana had gone so deep, and he used to give this thing on the Bharat, on the Mahabharat, on this Bhagavadgita. He was a pravachanakara. And once in Udupi, he was talking about the Gita. He was invited, and he was talking about the Gita, and he was with his wife, and he was talking of a very beautiful shloka when he got a telegram in between. He read the telegram, and then he folded it and kept it in his pocket, and he continued the pravachana. And then immediately after the pravachan or the talk was over, he called the manager and said, "Can you please organize a car for me? I need to go back to Bangalore very fast. My son, I got a telegram, he was sick and he was admitted to the hospital. I just got a telegram that he just passed away. I need to go." So this was the telegram he got when he was in the middle of a talk. He didn't miss a beat. He continued with the talk. Why? Because then people were shocked. He said, "My dear sir, you should have gone immediately." But you continued speaking. So he said, "I am talking of the highest truth that Krishna has given mankind." He says here, what is that shloka? Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja. He said, give up all of the dharmas. Here, dharma can be taken in several terms. Give up all other attachments. Give up all other, vasanas. And mamekam sharanam braja. You just take refuge in me. In me means in the highest teaching, in jnana. When you know that all these, what we learn from these few verses, everything comes and goes, the deha is anitya, you are not deha, you are not buddhi, then why do you lament? And this Devudu had so deeply, the jnana had gone inside him. That was the titiksha he was exhibiting there, that forbearance to that extent, that is the sign of a jnani. So let us see, maybe someday. Like someone said, someday we shall be there, right?
That comes through nididhyasa, no? Like Prabhuji says.
Yes. Shravana, Manana, nididhyasa. Yes, good point. So how do we get there? While we forbear with the changing world, how do we rewrite the vasanas that are so deep-rooted? You rewrite them with good vasanas. That's all. There is no other way to do it. You rewrite, change a bad habit with a good habit. Because Prabhuji says you cannot empty the subconscious mind at all. It is so full of vasanas. You cannot empty it at all. It's not going to happen. So what do it is pour good water on the bad water and dilute the bad water in a glass. You cannot empty it. So you go on pouring good water over it. So you go on, the same sense organs which run after objects, train them to run after good objects. Train them to run after the right things, because the agenda of God, of the universe, is evolution. See, till the human birth, the evolution is a natural process. But once we are endowed with a human birth, we have to make use of our viveka, the intellect that has been given, to know what is right for me, what is shreyas, what is prayas. So the sense organs which run after prayas, train them to run after shreyas. That's the only way you can rewrite those vasanas and carry those vasanas to the next life. If we are unfortunate enough not to have, Jivan Mukti in this life, let us carry the good vasanas to the next life. So that we take up, that is the only thing we can take up from where we left off. Because we are then in alignment with the universe. That is the agenda of God, is evolution. Agenda of universe is evolution. After human birth, evolution to the non-birth. Cycle of birth and death should stop. That is the next level of evolution. So That is God's agenda. And when we align with the agenda of God or the universe, then it is carried on. The universe helps you. That is why those vasanas get, you can pick up from where you left off. So in this lifetime, when we are rewriting these bad vasanas with the good vasanas and we go to the next life, we are given, the universe is kind enough to give us an environment which is conducive for further growth. That is why Titiksha, with great forbearance, we stay on the path. We don't, yeah.
Excuse me, sorry, I have to leave the meeting now. Thank you so much. Thank you,
All right.
everyone. Namaste.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was just reading about this person called Anthony Ray Hinton. Have you heard about him? Anthony Ray Hinton.
Tell me.
So he's a black person. He's in US, and when he was around 30 years old, he was a cook or something. So he was being charged of 2 murders because he was a black. They just put him in the jail, saying that you have done it, though he hasn't done it, and he was being sentenced to death.
Oh.
So for 30 years, the case went on and he was put in jail in 5x7 cell. He was supposed to go out only for 1 hour in a day.
Wow.
Okay. So after 30 years, they found out there was they couldn't find any evidence, and they said because of his, he was a very good person. So these 30 years, he found out that he really is a wonderful person, and we have by mistake put him in jail, and they released him after 30 years. So after 30 years, an interviewer comes and says, are you not angry on those people who had actually, framed you in this and put you across? He says, people don't understand the value of freedom. We just take it. But I have seen this 30 years, how it was within that thing, that 1 hour that I get it to go outside. When it rains, we just try to go inside, but I want to be outside, in the rain. Those are the kind of things. And he says, if I am angry on those people who are done, for the rest of the mind, rest of my life, I'll be carrying them, with me. So I don't want to do that. So I forgive them.
Perfect. So beautiful. Very well said. Very well said. Yeah. Let us not carry the wrong impressions and the impressions that make us sad. Yeah, it is stupid. So positive thinking, yes, carry the positive impressions all the time. Yes, Nirmala?
You know the Zen story, no?
Tell.
2 men, 2 priests were walking along. There was a small brook, very small brook, and one lady was standing because she had a flowing dress. She couldn't cross it without wetting it. So she was just hesitating. Immediately, one of the priests carried her and put her across to the next side and walked along. Half an hour later, the other priest says, this was wrong, you did. How could you carry a damsel to the other side? He said, I dropped her there itself. You're still carrying it in your mind?
Yeah, true. Correct. Yeah, we carry unnecessary. Yeah, correct.
About this, what we carry is the computer. In the computer, there are 2 parts. One is the computer itself, and the other is the hard disk. This hard disk, if it is more advanced, it has to be put in an advanced computer.
Yeah.
So if you acquire enough knowledge, then next janma you have to take a human birth, because this hard disk cannot be put into an animal's brain. Many of the activity the animal cannot perform.
True.
So that's what it is.
Yeah, and not just
because
in human form, but a very, very shrestha, good human form, which is conducive for growth.
Yes.
The environment, with the parents, with the gurus, with the society, which is conducive for growth, you will get such a...
As Shankaracharya says in Vivekachudamni, it is very rare to get a human birth. It is very rare to get a Purusha body. It is very rare to get interested in Shastras. Very rare to get interested in Vedanta,
Yeah.
and it is most rare to pursue in that
Yes.
and realize yourself.
Yes.
So many processes there before
All
we can reach it.
all that will be enabled for us if we stick to it, despite our own minds giving up on us, sometimes, it's very difficult. But
We hear of prodigies because if M.S. Subbulakshmi is born, naturally she'll be good in singing at a very early age.
only if you allow it to for your growth, for you do it as an act of devotion, as an act of, all that is aligned with the universe, basically, is what I'm trying to say. No, the vasanas will take you to some point, but then after that it has to be the spirit with which you do it, which carries you along. Karma yoga, bhakti, dhyana, jnana, all these, if your profession or your career or your hobbies aligned to all this, it will carry. Right?
Yeah, I fall into the water. The river takes me along.
The river takes
I'm on a well-chartered flight. I will get fruits. I will get juice. I will get lunch. I will get, because I'm in this path. God takes care of me here on. Here on, I have nothing to worry about.
Yes, correct. That is one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is nature. As Prakriti, as nature, its business is to keep you in Maya. So we have to rise against it. We have to flow against the current. Right? It'll push you towards sense object. It'll push you to the world. It likes to proliferate. Punarapi jananam, puranapi maranam is the business of nature, Prakriti. It likes to keep its business thriving. So
no, first it will try. It will try to stop us at the initial stages.
Yeah.
But once you are strong enough,
yes,
thereon it's an easy path.
Yes, that is why Titikshasva Bharata. Yeah.
No, that is when you get your guru.
Yes.
He, paves the way for you.
He will change the current from the going down, the gravity, anti-gravity.
Yes.
That is the whole thing about the rising of the Kundalini. All those metaphors is like, you instead of the energy flowing down, it starts flowing up.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is His grace.
Yes.
He changes the full thing. And thank you so much, Purnimaji. That day, the way you mediated was awesomeness.
Oh, wow. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much.
One more thing, Purnimaji, last time you remember we all wanted to take away like how can I help you? That really helped me this week,
Really?
I started observing,
Oh, how sweet. Okay, this week let us do Titiksha. How do I forebear? Without Chinta Vilaparahitam. Without trying to desperately change the situation and without desperately castigating myself or others or being anxious, that we can practice that this week. Am I being, am I trying to do things which are beyond my control? I'm trying to control things. All this we can take away. Chinta Vilaparahitam Titiksha. All right. So, but common sense, please hold on. If I'm sick, then I should not forbear. I should go to a doctor, take a crocin. So let us have, with common sense in place, we should do things which are practical to change whatever that needs to be changed, because we have the Dharma of a wife, of a child, of a mother, of a daughter, of a, everything. The Dharma has to be followed. Whatever needs to be done, we need to do. But beyond that, Titikshasva. All right?
You have to do all the Dharma without identifying yourself with them. That is the only trick. Don't say I, mine, mine, I, mine. No.
Yeah.
Just relax.
Correct. Just relax. But in the meanwhile, if you still the jnana has not come, then titiksha. That's what Krishna is saying. Just wait. Hold on. Don't worry. That's all. Okay.
Yes. I wish everyone will get Jivan Mukta in this lifetime only.
Yes. Pratibha ji. we shall pray for that. That is the Asha.
And
And that is
everyone,
the Sadguru's wish that all of us become Jivan. That is Krishna's wish. That is why he is giving this message to all of us, right?
he will bless everyone.
Yes. Because we go to him again and again and again, and we are rewriting the wrong vasanas with the right vasanas. Krishna vasana. Sarvam Krishnamaya.
Yeah,
Mataram, Mataram. You know, the Gopikas were like that, right? Everything for them was Krishna. Everything was Krishna. So beautiful.
Do you have a little time for a little small story, beautiful story?
Yeah, I don't mind. People, if they want to leave, they can leave. But
I'm
yeah.
so sorry. I have to go though. Thank you so
Please,
much.
please carry on.
Yeah.
Please.
Have a good day. Yeah.
Have a good day.
Nice. Welcome to our group.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye. Thank you.
So much.
The Krishna was having the flute tucked in, and the Gopika said, we are trying so hard, but Krishna doesn't stay with us at all. But whereas he tucks you in. What is the secret? Please tell us. No. Oh, the bamboo stick said, you don't know what all happened, what all transpired. One day Krishna came to me and said, I want you. And I said, okay, you take me. You know what Krishna did? He cut me off. He dried me in the sun. He dug a hole through me. And he took all the masala outside and he dug 7 holes.
Yeah.
All that he did. And I submitted myself. I completely gave up myself.
Yeah.
So then here on, it is only Krishna's music. I am nobody.
Correct.
So
Yes.
the surrender is required.
Yeah.
Sorry for taking the time.
Hollow bamboo. Yeah. That's why, that's only when you become hollow that Krishna can operate through you and play the flute. Yeah. Beautiful. All right. So
Thank you.
what was the closing prayer?
Yes.
Asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.
Congratulations, Purnima ji, 11 participants.
Oh boy, that is all, so nice that people want to listen, and it's really very, very nice.
This is the most fun class.
Yeah.
Welcome, Anupama.
I personally enjoyed and listening to everyone and the stories and everything.
Yeah.
And look forward to join more and more every week.
Yeah. You should share more.
Something,
Yeah.
it's something I need to do before joining. If I miss something, please do share with me or something like that. We can catch up later on.
Yes.
Yeah.